just want to make you think that I grew up and I've been out of touch with Black America. They don't want you to know what I lived through. They don't want you to know that I grew up with uncles in prison and I visited my uncle in prison when I was a small child. They don't want you to know that I made a conscious decision when I was a child to live a different life.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's why telling the truth is the most important value in America right now. And we all have to do that. What defines every American is not the color of their skin, but the ideas that they hold. And the left has manipulated those ideas into a never-ending struggle that aims to destroy America and keep minorities down forever. And we're here to change that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Ocean leaping and wild, stink like rotten roots. I bear in.
So I'm assuming this is a Republican convention. They said the left is trying to basically destroy humanity. So I don't know, man. I'm currently a college student right now, so I'm kind of getting more into this. So without further ado, let's not waste no more time. Watch this together. Candace Owens is in it. She's gonna give her her opinion. But yeah, let's go. Okay.
We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop and I've seen the promised land. But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
One thing about Dr. Martin Luther King is that I believe the promised land that he's referencing is heaven. That's what I personally believe it is. But if you were to interpret this through the lens of societal standards, such as the promised land on earth, I personally believe that if there was a promised land on earth, it would be the Western civilization such as America today. And the reason I'm saying that is because America is one of the only places, if you're an African American or you're black, where you can genuinely achieve anything you want to achieve. And I'm talking about in today's standards. I'm not saying we're the only place, but I think Western culture is one of the biggest places in the world where if you come here, no matter your skin color, your race, your gender, you can achieve anything you want. But I feel like even though we're here today, some people don't look at it as enough. But let's get into this.
Ladies and gentlemen, without final speaker, Candace Owens.
The promised land. Don't you guys get chills when you hear MLK speak? I mean, I don't want to speak after him. I really don't. You guys enjoying yourselves tonight? How amazing are the speakers, right? Give them a round of the hand.
Round of a hand. Round of applause.
You know, what we've started here, and this is why we finished with the promised land, because this is why we keep fighting, right? People say, how do you get up out of bed and take the hits that you take? I mean, I've been accused, literally, I woke up one morning and I was accused of a mosque shooting in New Zealand. Did you guys follow that? I mean,
what?
It was the most ridiculous. I'm like, I speak about Black America. I speak about minority America, refusing the lies of the left. I get up on stage and I basically say the same thing every time. I say, Black America, I believe in you. I believe in us. Hey, Hispanic America, minority America, Asian America, I believe in you. I believe in us. That's it. That message is considered dangerous. So dangerous that they are willing to put out a media hit against me. anybody that can take Candace Owens down, there will be a prize. The headlines I have read about myself, they call me a black white supremacist. And anybody see white supremacy here tonight? I mean, the stupidity that it takes to come up with something like black white supremacy. Oh yes, please. I would like to help create a society that I can't live in.
Is she talking about like a Uncle Ruckus type? That's creative, I will say. That is a very creative insult. I will say that, man. I just need to find out more of what she's done for people to say that, though.
Would be the logic. I get up on every stage and I say, please, please, please oppress me. That would be the logic. And yet we have pockets of people that fall for it. We have pockets of people that are still believing the media lies. We have pockets of people that don't realize that the media, do you want to know what they're after? A civil war. When I turn on CNN and MSNBC and I watch what they are saying and the lies that they are spinning, they are after a civil war. What do you think they want when they say things like Candace Owens is a Nazi sympathizer, like Candace Owens hates black America, that Candace Owens is inspiring mass shootings? What are they doing? They are giving permission for people to come attack me. That is what they are doing. They are saying to Antifa, you can show up where she is and you can do what you do and you can
What is Antifa? I keep hearing that, but honestly, I don't know what it is.
threaten her. We are giving you the permission and our hands are going to be clean. That is what they are doing. It is a sin and it is wrong, and they have gotten away for it for too long. People ask me all the time, what is BLEXIT? What is BLEXIT, Candace? What is it, right? It's blacks, it's
What is
Latinos,
BLEXIT?
it's Asians, it's also white people. White people too, waking up. We are all waking up to the left. We are waking up to what they've done. And it's not just a wake up, guys. It's an education. It's a re-education. Look at our schools. In Baltimore, not being able to find a single child that could pass a literacy exam across 5 schools. Why are they doing that? Because they know the truth. An educated mind can't be enslaved, so they have to make sure that we remain uneducated.
Another reason, this is why a lot of people are siding with the right rather than, I guess, the liberal side, is because on the right, like if I do a video like this and I say something that y'all disagree with, y'all won't just start attacking me in the comments. Y'all will literally just tell me like, no, it's not that, it's this instead. But let's say I was to do a video for, I guess, a liberal side, and I said something that was a little more conservative leaning, I would literally get attacked. They would try to cancel me in the comments. And I'm not saying all liberals or all conservatives do that. I'm just saying that one side kind of promotes, or it's open to you questioning it, whereas the other side, which I've noticed, is not open to you questioning it at all. And if you disagree with me, just go back and rewatch my videos of the Liberty Hangout videos where the girl goes to the college campus and she's talking to the students, or watch my debate videos. You can see that the one who is a little more left-leaning is way less open to any disagreements. They will literally curse you out. They call you names if you disagree. I'm just trying to question both sides so I can find out the real truth.
They like their minorities emotional and reactive and not logical and rational. And so the challenge that I ask all of you minorities here today is when you see a story on any headline and it makes you feel something, stop right there and think first. Think first. In 2016, I had to do that because I was hurt. Just like you heard Brennan talk, I was hurt when I watched every person in this room felt something when we watched people bleeding out in cars because of a police officer. We all felt something because we're human beings and we have a heart. And the color of the person never mattered that was in the car. It never mattered. But then I stopped and I said, why? Why just before an election cycle are all of these liberal networks only showing this? Why are they showing black versus white? Why are they showing police brutality? What is this? And I looked at the statistics and I said, my goodness, as a black person, I have a higher chance of being struck by lightning than being struck by a police officer unarmed. Why are they showing this?
That's one thing I've seen too, like, and they kind of, and this is something that I've noticed. The Democratic Party, and I'm not saying all Democrats, so don't be like, oh, Jojo hates Democrats. No, no, not at all. I just noticed that they try to paint themselves as like a black savior, when it comes to elections and when it comes to my race. And you're probably like, why are you saying that? Joe Biden literally said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He literally said this. Like, I'm not making this up. That's black savior stuff. Like, the Democratic Party tries to paint themselves as like this black savior. And I'm not saying the Republican Party is better. I'm just saying at least try to show me that you think of me as a human who can think on his own. Don't try to paint yourself as like you're gonna save my race from the dramatic oppression we're facing. No. Like, I don't need that. I can think for myself, and I don't need somebody thinking for me, for one.
Because they want us angry, because they want us emotional, because they want us irrational. Because when you are emotional, you are able to be manipulated and you are able to be controlled. I have watched the media create an entirely different Candace Owens. It's amazing. It's amazing. I've Googled myself and I said, ooh, this girl sounds horrible. I'm gonna protest her. And I said to myself, it's incredible. They make me sound like I grew up like a privileged rich girl in Connecticut. No, I didn't. I didn't grow up as a privileged rich girl in Connecticut. I grew up living in an apartment with my two sisters sharing a room where we had to have an exterminator come every month for roaches. They say, they know what people think when you hear Connecticut, right? That's what they do. Candace grew up in Connecticut where the median income is $100,000. They're not commenting on my family. They just want to make you think that I grew up and I've been out of touch with Black America. They don't want you to know what I lived through. They don't want you to know that I grew up with uncles in prison and I visited my uncle in prison when I was a small child. They don't want you to know that I made a conscious decision when I was a child to live a different life. I was the little girl, and this is what BLEXIT is for, the little girls that are wondering if there's something else, that are living in existence and saying, I don't want this for myself. I always tell the story to people of my first play date, and it's an important one, and I will never, ever forget this. And it's stunning how when something is so important in your life, your brain just locks it in there like it was yesterday. I was 5 years old when I had my first play date. I didn't go to preschool, so my whole existence was where we lived in this low-income housing structure in Stamford, Connecticut. I didn't know anything outside of it. Everything I saw every day was Black people and Hispanic people. And then I went to school, and my first friend, her name was Lindsay, and she invited me over for a play date, and I was so excited to go. And when we got to her house, I was shocked as we were driving that the houses just got bigger and bigger and bigger. I said, oh my goodness, do people live like this? I went into Lindsay's house, and she had this beautiful big white house in Stamford, Connecticut, and she had a nanny, and everything was perfect in her house. She had a play date, extra space in the basement that was converted into a playroom for her and her sisters. Everything in her room seemed to me like it was Victorian style. She had glass dolls, and I said, my goodness, I can't believe people live like this. I want that. In that moment, I decided that I wanted that. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't jealous. I wanted to know how I could become that.
Bro, that is facts, man. Like, that is facts. Like, I feel like Black people, we get punished for saying that we can achieve anything. Like, if I was to be like, I can achieve anything in America, that's actually a controversial statement that can get me canceled, man. Like, and I genuinely believe I can achieve anything, and that's how I live life. That's what I the advice I would give other people. But that is like a direct contradiction of the phrase I'm oppressed. And of course, I know Black people, we deal with our own struggles. Of course, I've lived it. But I still think I can achieve anything. Whereas 400, 300 years ago, I couldn't say I can achieve anything. That's just what it is. But today, I'm like, yeah, I can. But it's like, that's not a Black, well, I'm not even gonna say that's not a Black belief. That's not a belief that society wants me to think, apparently.
How I could live like that. And then you know what happened? They put me in the school system after kindergarten. You start learning. And the teachers, what are they teaching people actively? Well, the reason Lindsay lives like that and you live like this is because of the color of your skin, right? That's where they start the programming.
That's what they say.
This was liberal Candace. I was learning actively to think that white people had something against me. This is what the public school system, when you have...
And when I keep saying this, schools literally indoctrinate you. And I'm not saying school is bad. I still think you should send your kids to school. I think college is good. But you going to sit here and act like what I'm saying. Because people say they disagree with me. No, I've been in school for the past 18 years. Not 18. 17, whatever the crap years. I know. And I'm not saying this to like bash schooling system. No, it's true. They're teaching you through the lens of, I guess, a liberal objective. I don't know the diction. They're teaching you through that lens, man. So, and my thing is, what is the message they're getting across? When they tell you this stuff, what message is getting through to you? This is the message, that you can achieve anything, that you can't achieve anything.
To understand the uphill climb that we have, the public school system is teaching us that we are oppressed and that it's because of the color of our skin. They're not telling us that we are the authors of our own destiny, that we're in the driver's seat, that we have to make different decisions. They didn't want to say to me, hey, Candace, you know, if you wanted to live a different life, your mother could have made some different decisions. My mother dropped out of high school. My mother grew up in and out of group homes coming out of her life. She was one of 9 children, right? Those are different decisions that could have been made. My mother had all of her children out of wedlock. These are different decisions. We don't learn about that in school. How do we start teaching people that they are the authors, that they are in the driver's seats of their own destiny? I was blessed, and I really do believe this. I was blessed in 2016, and I never tell people who they support as candidates, so please go out, do your own research. I'm just telling you my story. I was blessed in 2016, in 2015 actually, when Donald Trump came down the escalator. And I'll tell you why I was blessed. He came down that escalator, and I was a liberal. I didn't know much about politics, but I knew that I had to be a Democrat because of the color of my skin. I knew that, right? I knew I was on the left because of the color of my skin. And he came down the escalator, and my first thought was, ooh, no, not him. Ooh, is that the guy that says you're fired? The President of the United States? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But then, more importantly than the things that I was thinking, were the things that I wasn't thinking. You see, I was thinking, okay, you know, he's a reality TV star. He shouldn't be president of the United States. He says you're fired. That's too gimmicky. That's making our country a joke. No way. But I wasn't thinking this man is a racist. But the media suddenly exploded and they said, he's a racist. He's a sexist. He's a misogynist. At one point, if you guys remember this, they were saying that he was incestuous and he had feelings for his daughter Ivanka.
I remember, bro. I remember that, man. I remember that, and I never actually questioned any of the things they were saying. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I never did, and some things I still have beliefs about them, but I just have to look into it on my own.
It was absolutely disgusting, overnight. But you see, I grew up listening to hip hop music, and until that man announced that he was running for president of the United States, everybody loved Trump. Okay? Everybody loved Trump. And just like that, the media said, no. Forget everything we said. I know he was great. He had his own show. We loved him. Forget Beyonce and Jay-Z sipping poolside. They wanted to be at Mar-a-Lago. Remember in the songs? Everybody wanted to be at Mar-a-Lago. He was a symbol of wealth, of Americanism, that you had made it. Everybody loved Trump. And just like that, I was supposed to be convinced that he was a racist because he announced his bid for the White House. That was my aha moment. I still wasn't sure about him, but I said to myself, and I asked a very important question, and it's a question that I want you guys to ask yourselves. Is it possible that racism is now being used as a theme to turn black people into single-issue voters? The answer is yes.
Bruh.
When people know what you are afraid of, they can control you, okay? When people know what you fear, they can control you. And the left has figured out that minorities fear racism.
And that's what I've been saying, man. And I am not anti-left. I'm just saying that one party, and I've seen this, is literally using our fears to promote us voting for them. This is happening in real time, bro. And I'm not Republican or nothing. I'm just letting you know what I've seen as a young college student, and I'm still learning more about it. But I've seen, like, why if I don't vote for you, I'm not black. First of all, you're not black. So how could you even make a claim like that? You know what? Whatever. Why do I have to vote a specific party to uphold my own race? Regardless of if I vote for you or not, I might still vote for you for other reasons. But just because I vote a certain way, just because I live my life a certain way, just because I have certain beliefs, unless they're super radical beliefs, I'm still black. And you try to paint the image that if I don't do something that you want me to do, my black card is just snatched from me. Like that is insulting, if I'm being honest. That is extremely insulting.
So they call everything racist. I mean, I actually saw an article, and I believe it was the Washington Post, and it said that air was racist. And I thought it was a joke. I was like, this has to be satire. And I clicked it. It wasn't. They said that we are breathing worse air than white people. It was amazing.
What?
I said, wow, we're here right now.
Is that true?
Air is racist.
I'll have to look that up.
I didn't think, okay. And it is laughable, but there are people that are sharing those articles going, see, I told you.
Oh, yeah. The article is true. Even the air is racist. Environmental racism is harming black communities. So I think it was like a clickbait title. I don't know. But it's definitely a few articles about that.
I told you. I had a feeling the air is racist. I've been completely killed by the press 1,000 times over for a lot of things. First and foremost, I am not a feminist, and I say that proudly, and I'll explain to you why. Please do not believe that people that are calling themselves feminists today, these modern feminists, these Lena Dunham types that are out there boycotting Brett Kavanaugh are feminists. They are not. They are people, they are radicalized feminists, people that are operating under the guise of feminism to attack men, okay? A society cannot thrive without strong men, okay?
That's facts.
They are trying to demote masculinity. You see this in our society. There's something wrong. If you have any type of a feeling that makes you feel like a man, there's something wrong with you. They're trying to pervert masculinity. They're trying to even pervert femininity. There's something wrong. If you're a woman and you want to raise your kids, oh my goodness, what is wrong with you? There is nothing wrong with raising your kids. In fact, I would argue that's the toughest job in the world, to raise good human beings.
I don't have no kids, so I don't know.
This is the left. This is the left. You have a feeling like you want to get married? What's wrong with you? I mean, I had a feminist tweet at me and said, why don't you go make your husband a sandwich? Okay. Does he want one? I mean, why on earth would I have an issue with making my husband a sandwich? Modern feminism is just, it's so crazy wackadoodle, I can't even begin. But this is the stuff that is required learning in school now. When I was at university,
that's crazy.
I was required to take Feminism 101, okay, as a part of my prerequisites for a journalism major. Let me tell you, I'm going to show you guys all how my class went. You guys ready? You guys are now all in Feminism 101. We had a massive textbook. In this textbook was every single problem that has faced women since the beginning of dawn, since the time of dinosaurs. They created this textbook, okay? And our teacher would sit at the front and she'd pluck out one of these things that happened in the textbook. She'd say, pick a struggle. Women are tired, more tired than men. Why? And then she turned to the class, and all we had to do to get an A was say, because of men. That was it. I mean, it was really the easiest class you could possibly get an A in. And no other thinking. So she'd say, I lost my keys this morning. Why?
Because of
A's. Everybody just, that was incredible. That was incredible how fast you guys learn. So I remember being in this class, and mind you, this is at a time when I was a liberal. I was on the left. I was fired up. Feminism sounds great. Feminism 101, let's do it. But eventually I said, everything is just because of men? I feel like there's got to be a little bit more going on. And there's one particular class that
Nope, there's nothing more going on. Every aspect, everything wrong with women. It's just men. Everything. Everything. We've done everything.
always tell people about, and I will never forget it because retrospectively it was a turning point for me. She plucked out one of her things from this textbook, this wonderful textbook, Every Problem Since the Beginning of Time, and it was a statistic, scary statistic. Said 89% of the people in this country that have an eating disorder are women. And she turned to the classroom and she said, why?
Because of men.
Goodness, Einstein's in here. It's just incredible. And everyone in the class, because these people some of the people had picked the class and they're nodding, and she went on and she said, it's because men make us feel like we have to be skinny and they're controlling the advertising industry. And I put my hand up and I said, ooh, this one I'm just going to have to try to rebut a little bit. And she looked at me because we do this back and forth, and she was like, Candace. What? What could you possibly have wrong with what I just said? I said, Professor, I just feel like there might be something else going on. I don't think everything can be because of men. And she looked at me, and I'll never forget the words she uttered to me. She said, Candace, I just feel like you were sent to me from the men's department.
The men's department. But my thing is, if you think like this, and just to tie everything in, I'm about to end this video though. If you think every aspect of your problems are from men, or if you're a man and you think every aspect of your problems are from women, how could you ever get married? Or even if you don't want to get married, how could you ever live in peace with the other gender? Like, how could you ever look at a woman and be like, I love you, I care about you, I want to live in tranquility with you? Or how you could look at a man and be like, I love you, I care about you, I want to live in tranquility with you? What if you have a daughter and you're a man and you hate women? You're gonna hate your daughter. What if you're a mother and you have a son and you hate men? You're gonna hate your son. What if you're a Democrat and you have Republican friends? You're gonna hate them. What if you're a Republican and you have Democrat friends? You're gonna hate them. For what? Some arbitrary values that you just came up with in your own head, this imaginary war that you're fighting that doesn't even exist. But anyways, if y'all have any suggestions for me, comment them down below, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.